Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Monday, December 2nd. This is episode 401 of The Daily Dope. This is your first time tuning in. Let me point out, this is just a very, very casual show. Mainly talking about tabletop gaming. We're going to talk about something else to start off with tonight. But yeah, it's usually just kicking back and talking about the latest tabletop gaming news of the day. Now, I do want to point out, this is a live stream, so if you're watching on YouTube, chat is available. It is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of these stranger commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to the chat itself. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or comment, by all means, fire away. And of course, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to the channel and you like the channel, by all means, subscribe. Don't forget, ring that little bell. It will not only notify you of when the stream goes live, but also when I upload standalone videos as well. And of course, when you're not watching the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com. All the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. So we got a good bit of chat going on right now. So we got John Vogel, Kabuki Kid, and Archangel Ortiz, who is brand new to chat. We have not seen Archangel Ortiz before, so welcome aboard. Yes, so I'm starting off the show today with some sad news. Got some sad news, and I'm going to follow that up with some bad news, and then we will get into the rest of the tabletop gaming news. So anyway, so if you have followed the Daily Dope for a while, or if you watched prior to, I want to say November 1st, you may remember that I would actually always mention Lil Bub's big fund in the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. And I would show you a flash. Sometimes I'd show the little videos that Lil Bub's big fund had for the ASPCA. And kind of mentioned it before. And people used to be like, oh, it's Bub time and things like that. So, and of course, Lil Bub is this kind of like internet celebrity cat that people would go and basically you had all this stuff going on with all these charities for animals in need, special needs animals, things like that. So I received an email this morning with some pretty bad news. Lil Bub is gone. Yes, Kabuki Kid, you are right. Lil Bub died yesterday morning. So, as you know, it's just, that's weird. I mean, you know, I didn't know, you know, Lil Bub's owner, Mike Berdavsky, I think is how it's pronounced, or any of the family. Never seen the cat, anything like that. But I was really inspired by Lil Bub's story of perseverance against all these different things. Genetic mutations, and just, you know, was born without most of its lower jaw, all these things, and how Mike had adopted this cat, and it had changed his life. It changed the life of a lot of people around him as well. And Lil Bub had been having a problem with a bone infection, because I get emails because I have purchased different stuff, right? So, for an example, I've got my little whiz bub back here, right? And then I got my little thanks friend for when I placed an order. And then I've got my Lil Bub book, which I don't have down here. I think it's upstairs. Then I got my bigger stuff, Lil Bub over here. And so anyway, so I get emails because I, signed. It's not like they know me or anything like that. So I got it. I'd been getting emails, and they were talking about that they were looking at not doing any traveling. They were gonna wrap because Lil Bub and Mike would go. The dude, I'll say the dude, is because that's how they always referred to his owner, Mike. Anyway, they would travel all around the country, and they would do like little meet and greets and things like that, and all this money would always go to animal shelters. They would do like some Halo Pets food stuff, and percentage of every sale would go to help animals and stuff. Of course, there was a Lil Bub's big fund. So I was really touched by the story and all the good work that Lil Bub and her family were basically doing, because usually you see these people and like they get a famous internet pet and all they're looking for is how much money can they get out of it, how much fame can they get out of it, whereas this was a beloved family pet. It was not the gravy train. So I guess she had this bone infection over the last year. You could see pictures on her, it would have been on her left side, like this growth like on the side of her face. But supposedly she wasn't in any pain or anything like that. And she had even gone to some veterinary school at, I think it was Purdue University, because the family lived in Indiana. I should say lives in Indiana. And they were doing some tests. They did a CAT scan because they wanted to see what they could do. Was this growth going to keep growing? Because Lil Bub was 8 years old. So, unfortunately, they thought that they had gotten rid of this bone infection, and that bone infection came back. And so, according to the dude, Lil Bub was all frisky and hanging out, watching TV with them, with his wife, and that Saturday night in bed, and then Sunday morning, Lil Bub went back to outer space. Because I always joked around that Lil Bub was from outer space. She wasn't like a real cat. So anyway, I know I'm kind of rambling on. A lot of people out there probably have no idea what who Lil Bub is or anything like that, but just wanted to mention that was a bummer. I was going to shoot some video earlier today, and then I got the email, and I was like, I'm not shooting a video. Like, I'm even get a little teary-eyed right now. So, what can I tell you? I'm a softie. That's how it works. Anyway, so I still have the Lil Bub's Big Fund banner over on the front page of the gaminggang.com. Just because I stopped talking about it every show didn't mean that I was no longer supporting it. I just figured after about a year of nearly every show talking about Lil Bub's Big Fund, that people are probably getting a little tired of it. So, anywho, yes, Kabuki Kid says, safe trip, Lil Bub. Yep. I went back. Good job, Lil Bub. Because everybody used to say, good job, Bub. So even like I'd comment because I would it'd send me pictures of different stuff, and I'd be like, good job, Bub. Everybody would be, good job, Bub. So, anywho, all right, yes, the fund should live on. I would hope. I would think. So, anyway. So Doug Roberts is here. Good to see you, Doug. And Dan from No Enemies Here is in chat as well. So yes, Dan is catching that more Lil Bub. So anyway, I'll still keep all my stuff. My little whiz bub. Not going any place. Anyway, so there's the sad news. Now we get to move on, and I get to talk about some bad news. So to kick off our news today, I want to say it was Friday. Cubicle 7 Entertainment announced that the work that was being done on the second edition of the One Ring role-playing game, the Tolkien, or Tolkien, as I guess most people pronounce it, role-playing game, as well as the stuff that was in the pipeline for that, as well as Adventures in Middle-earth, done. Gone. Not gone as in stolen. Gone as in the company that has the rights to that. I guess Cubicle 7 couldn't come to terms contractually with them. So I do have the announcement from my friend Dominic McDowell of Cubicle 7. We have some very unfortunate and unexpected news to share. Contractual differences arose recently, which we have been unable to resolve, and so we have decided to end our licensing agreement with Sophisticated Games. It is with regret that we have made this very tough decision to withdraw. This means we will cease publishing The One Ring and Adventures in Middle-earth in the first half of 2020. Unfortunately, this doesn't give us enough time to release the much-anticipated The One Ring, the Lord of the Rings role-playing game, second edition. As many of you know, our first edition of The One Ring is 8 years old, and we had high hopes of a full product line to support our second edition. Our team have worked incredibly hard on this new edition, with many of the announced titles already written and edited. So being very close to completion makes this decision even harder. Although we were very close to the finish line when these issues arose, as gamers ourselves, we did not feel it was right to release a new edition which we would be unable to support. We appreciate how passionate so many of you are, especially those who have followed our journey from first edition and eagerly awaited the second edition. Thank you for your support over the years. So yes, Kevin Thorpe saying it never rains, but it pours. So yeah, so I got word of this Friday morning when I woke up. So so we've got Kevin Thorpe and William McGinnis in chat as well. Welcome, welcome. See, one of the reasons why I want to do a show tonight? I know this sounds stupid, right? Thought it would cheer me up from the Lil Bub News. Oh man, can't believe I say this stuff publicly. Anyway, yes, yes, you're right, Dan. It's better she died, sleeping. And, I don't think it came as a super huge shock to the family. Because, like I said, they were talking about they weren't going to make public appearances and stuff like that. Anyway, so yes. And one of the things Kabuki Kid mentions, one of the things that they did mention, Mike mentioned in the email he sent out, was yes, that they weren't going to be forced to have to make a decision of whether to take their pet in to be euthanized, which is not fun. I had to do that one time with our dog. See, another thing is I'm a pet owner. I've always been a pet owner, so I know what this is like. But then again, my cats have never met me, my spouse, or met Robert De Niro, or had Michelle Obama on a little video show and stuff. So anyway, so this sucks for a few different reasons with this Cubicle 7 deal. So I'm not sure I don't know what was going on, right? I don't know what was going on behind the scenes. I'm taking a wild guess because Sophisticated Games, as far as I know, they are the owners of, I guess essentially they're the owners of the One Ring, or they're the owners of the rights to Tolkien role-playing games. I don't know. I am not familiar with Sophisticated Games, but I did look at their website, and it does show that it seems like that they're kind of like the rights holder that Cubicle 7 has to license out, right? License out to, or become a licensee. Anyway, for one, you had all that work that was done on it, and I know that they were really hoping that at least get the PDF out there maybe before the end of the year or into January, and then they were expecting the print edition to be out in the spring, by the spring. And now that's it. That's done. Plus, you also had the Rohan region guide that was being ported over to Adventures in Middle-earth. It may have been. Not positive. So once again, that's... Now, I guess, the little glimmer of good news is that all the One Ring and Adventures in Middle-earth books are 50% off right now at Cubicle 7. So it's part of their Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale. Actually, speaking of that, definitely check out the post that I've got for Black Friday and Cyber Monday specials, because there are many of them that are still going on right now. Some of them are going on for a couple more days. Some of them go on throughout this week. So double check, because loads of really good deals. Really some cool specials and things like that. Anyway, so other thing that's bad news to Cubicle 7 about this is the One Ring and Adventures in Middle-earth, where they were the big sellers. And I know this for a fact. Now, of course, the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, that has done really, really well for them. Doctor Who still does okay for them. But then again, they don't really have anything to release for Doctor Who. They're, pretty much up to date with the Doctor books, except for the newest Doctor, and all you have are just a few adventures, so it'd be silly to try to bring something out with that. So this is gonna affect Cubicle 7 on the bottom line too. So I got my fingers crossed that everything's gonna be all right, because I really like Dominic and TS and a lot of the rest of the gang over at Cubicle 7 that I talk to all the time at conventions every year. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. All right, so we got rid of the sad news. Now we're getting rid of the bad news. Let's move on to the rest of the news. Because Steve Jackson Games finally launched the Kickstarter for Car Wars. It was on Black Friday, and I've got the dope. The first car combat game, and still the best. That's Steve Jackson Games talking. Car Wars returns in a bigger, faster edition. The detailed 1/64 scale cars move, shoot, and catch fire the way you remember, with faster car creation and play. Once again, you can rule the roads. North America, AD 2069. 69 dudes. It's a new American frontier. The collapse of the U.S. government plunged the country back into the good old days of wilderness lawlessness, banditry, regional dictators, and of the men and women who combat them. Modern-day knights and gunslingers are in demand, but the automobile has replaced the horse, and the machine gun and recoilless rifle have made the sword and Winchester obsolete. Welcome to 2069. It's a rough world, but it's the only one around. Car Wars is the game of auto-dueling, futuristic vehicular combat where the right-of-way goes to the biggest guns. Players design their cars, complete with weapons, accessories, and crew, and then take them into the arena, where one emerges victorious, and the others are annihilated. You can reserve a copy of the 4-player game edition. There are a lot of various different pledge levels and add-ons and things like that, but you can reserve a copy of the 4-player game and the Ace level stretch goals for a $75 pledge. This is through January 6th. It's going to supposedly carry an MSRP of $100. Expected delivery is November of next year. So, I know people are like, Car Wars, yeah, all right. So, Kabuki Kid says, yep, backed it right away. Curious to try the new way of playing. There you go. Archangel Ortiz. Drive offensively. That was the old line. Yes, there is a Cyber Monday backing option today, too. I think you save a couple more bucks, something along those lines. Okay, so here's a few things that I'm going to mention. Okay, so first of all, if you follow the Gaming Gang and the Daily Dope, you know Steve Jackson Games and I do not get along. They just, they're all about, hey, we want you to share the news, but we won't send you anything to review or anything like that. And then when you like do interviews with them at conventions, then they give you, oh, well, you know, we're not the retailers selling our stuff here. It's like, whatever. Anyway, it's Car Wars. So I have been sitting there forever wanting to see this make a comeback, and it is back. So Kabuki Kid also mentions I'm not ditching my old Car Wars stuff, though. I still like love the old way of building cars. Here's some weird stuff. So there are no reviewers. There are no, as far as I could tell when this launched, and up until Sunday, what was the last time I looked at this? There are no reviewers talking about this new Car Wars. They didn't even do a video, like a Kickstarter video. Otherwise, I would have shared it. Now, there are a couple of play videos from people from Steve Jackson Games. And I got to be honest, one of them is about an hour long, and it's just a duel between two vehicles. I didn't watch all of it, but to me, it seemed like it's still going to be one of these games where you play for 3 hours, and in reality, all of like 15 seconds have passed, and you've driven like 100 feet. So, or, you know, 15 seconds have passed, you've driven like 100 yards. Whatever. I don't know. Kind of looks sort of clunky. Also, you're going to get 8 cars in the core box, which is going to retail for $100. These are good-sized miniatures, though. They're not just little tiny minis. They are pretty good. And I don't know. I don't know. I honestly have no idea how this is going to play out. I will tell you one thing. You will certainly be spending a lot more money if you're interested in Car Wars this time around. And back in the day, there was a lot of Car Wars stuff. So you figure, you know, if they're going to do motorcycles, that's a whole nother core box that they're going to come out with. I don't foresee them really doing trucks. Maybe pickups, like semis, which were pretty cool. Back in the old day, and, you know, a lot of people like Double K, Kabuki Kid can back me up on this. There was loads of stuff. There was like tanks and helicopters, and all these things ended up getting added to the game, making it way, way more crunchy than it ever started out as. So even in the beginning, it was always a pretty slow-moving game. But that was, you know, that's 1981 for you. Or 1980. I think it was 81. You know, we didn't have any problem sitting there playing a board game for 6 hours. Nowadays, you're hard-pressed to find somebody who's going to sit there for 6 hours and play a board game with you. But, and yes, Kabuki Kid, I'm right with you. I got mine. You got the pocket box. I got the original Ziploc bag, which people have argued with me that it originally came out in a clamshell. And I'm like, nope. Ziploc bag. Even the folks over at Steve Jackson Games, last time I interviewed them, they backed me up. It was originally in a Ziploc bag, and I think it was $3.95 or $2.95. But yeah, even back in the day, it seemed like every month we were spending money on some Car Wars stuff. So check it out. Like I said, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not going to dissuade anybody from picking it up. Then again, I can't say, wow, this looks awesome, because it looks like it's just a different kind of fiddliness with all these custom dice and stuff. So I don't know. All right, moving right along. WizKids is going to be bringing the science fiction board game Cedars from Ceres Exodus to North America next spring. Here's the dope. Cedars from Ceres is a transmedia science fiction universe that's been created over 5 years by Serge McCastar and Charbel Farrell. Hopefully I got close on those. Which contains post-humans, space opera, extensive journeys. What the heck? What? Oh, there we go. Lost empires, exobiology, genetic evolution, android developments, and more. Cedars Series 1 Exodus is the first game of a serial of 10 games that are planned in this universe. When an unknown force threatens to render their home uninhabitable, the Seeders must build arks, giant colony ships, to ensure their survival. Players work to create the most promising design to be chosen for production. Each turn, players draft cards into their hands as cards are laid out on the board. Players strategically place negotiator chips between the cards they want, using their alignment and position to determine who has the most influence over a desired card. Once all negotiators and tokens are placed, influence is calculated and the winners of each card determined. Once obtained, cards can be played for points, adding value to your arc, or discarded for resources. Each card represents a different component of the arc: locations, items, personnel, and players who find unique synergies between cards, as well as their players' colors' unique power. Asymmetry and complex interactions add layers of strategy that lead to a unique experience each time you play. Unfortunately, I'm trying to provide the sell sheet info, and it seems to have been translated from something. So, I don't know. I know this is not an English language game. It's out in Europe already. Seeders from Sirius Exodus is for 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 2 hours, and will carry an MSRP of $74.99 when this arrives in May. Yeah, so this could be interesting. It looks kind of cool. I've got a soft spot for stories about civilizations that have to leave their planet, otherwise they're going to be extinct. Like Seven Eves, that is an excellent novel, kind of long novel. So the discussion is still going on about Car Wars. Yep, good old Uncle Al's catalogs. Yes, I remember I think they did 2 of them, but I think we only played one, where it was almost like a create your own adventure, where we were, if I remember correctly, I think the players all controlled this group. They had a semi, and they were trying to get this, I want to say they were trying to get like a serum or something, an antidote or something, from one place to another place, and then you would have these different encounters and stuff like that. So there were a few game books out there for Car Wars where it was made where you almost, we wouldn't call it like a GM or DM or anything like that. We would call it a referee, but it was almost like having, one person who basically wasn't playing, they were just overseeing everything. So I seem to recall that. I can't remember what it was called, but it was one of the earlier releases for Car Wars. It was before we had all the different regional guides all over the place, and like 4 or 5 Uncle Albert's catalogs and stuff like that. Okay, so got some info about a Kickstarter that just launched for MonkeyBlood Design and Publishing. I didn't realize they added and publishing. When did they do that? I thought it was MonkeyBlood Design when I did my review for the Midlands. Anyway, they have launched a Kickstarter. It was over the weekend. I've got the dope on the Handy Map Buildings and Structures. Our previous campaign was called Handy Maps, Towns and Villages, and due to its success and the hugely positive feedback we received, we have created this campaign to provide some additional cards for buildings and structures. So we're crafting a set of 22 double-sided A5 cards showing beautifully illustrated and evocative elevations and floor plan layouts for fantasy-themed buildings and structures. The map cards can be used as player handouts or as tools for game planning by game masters. Cards will be double-sided in a handy A5 size, which is 8.27 inches by 5.83 inches. Uncoated cardstock, giving a nice matte finish suitable for ink and pencil marking. Each side will be professionally and digitally printed with a single full-color elevation of the building on one side and a black inked floor plan to the reverse, all on a parchment-style background. The floor plan signs will all have a basic grid and minimal text labels, generally kept to suggested uses, floor and story labels, and level change designations, such as stairs and ladders, but no title, room numbers, or compass, allowing game masters to use them as they need for their campaign. There is a short, almost 2-minute Kickstarter video from Glenn Seal and MonkeyBlood, so let's take a look. So one of the cool things about this Kickstarter is, actually, obviously enough, MonkeyBlood Design and Publishing is pretty much run by Glenn Seal, who is an ENnie award-winning cartographer and designer. So pretty sweet. If anyone's curious what an A5 size is, size of one of these pages. So kind of digest size. So this is a little bigger. The cover is a little bigger than a A5, but just a little close. So everybody's still talking about Car Wars. There we go. So that's kind of funny. As I mentioned in chat, I have most of the first edition Car Wars stuff still. So pretty wild, I know. And the funny thing is, I love how we're still talking Car Wars stuff. I was going to say, the funny thing is with this is that effectively, what was it? Well, okay, so I don't want to mention, well, okay, I will. Gaslands from Osprey Games is kind of like Car Wars is a miniatures game. Especially with their Gaslands refueled, which I think really kind of adds a lot more to the game itself. It's kind of Car Wars. So, because I think a lot of people figured, I guess maybe they're just, Steve Jackson's never going to bring this game back. And of course, you can't copyright mechanics of a game. So, Glowing Turtle, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us for the first time. We got a couple of newbies in chat. Very nice. Very nice. Anyway, so let me finish up as far as the Kickstarter for Handy Maps, Buildings, and Structures. It's already passed the 400% funding goal. You can reserve a copy of the physical cards as well as the PDF for a $20 pledge through December 21st. Expected delivery is next April. If you want to get that luxury box, that is a little bit of a higher pledge level. For some reason, I think it was maybe it's $27 or $29, something like that. So as you can see, we've shifted on into RPG mode. Kabuki Kid says, yes, Steve Jackson Games took a bit too long to come out with 6E. Gaslands has taken some of their thunder. Yep. Plus, I would think there's probably going to be people out there who are going to be like, I don't want like big miniatures like that. It's going to take up too much space. I have to paint them. Things like, of course, personally, I would like painting them. I think it'd be pretty cool, but that's me. I like painting stuff. All right, Modiphius Entertainment is getting ready to release the physical books for Odyssey of the Dragon Lords role-playing setting for 5e. Here's the dope. Odyssey of the Dragon Lords is heavily inspired by stories from ancient Greek mythology. In designing the campaign, James Olin and Jesse Skye sought to include ideas from many different sources: the Odyssey, the Iliad, Jason and the Argonauts, the Oresteia, and others. However, the setting world of Thelia, is not ancient Greece. You will not find Zeus, Athena, or Apollo among the gods. As adventurers explore Thelia, they will encounter familiar tropes, monsters, and treasures from Greek mythology. But the rules are different there. The world blends high fantasy with the trappings of ancient history. Elves, dwarves, and halflings now live alongside minotaurs, centaurs, and satyrs. Odyssey of the Dragon Lords is a 5th edition D&D compatible epic adventure book. We have, first off, the Player's Guide. Inspired by ancient Greek mythology, Thelia is a brand new campaign setting, a lost continent that can be seamlessly added to any existing 5e campaign. This book includes an overview of the history, factions, kingdoms, and laws of the Forgotten Continent. In this tome, you will learn about the gods, the titans, and the legendary Dragon Lords. The class backstories section offers guidance on the character creation process, including potential names and suggested backstories for each of the core player classes. Plus, there are rules for 2 new player races native to the forests and the northern steppes: the Thalian Centaur and the Thalian Satyr. I always say satyr. I think it's satyr though, because satyr is isn't that a Jewish like ceremony? A satyr? I don't know. Satire. Whatever. No, I know a satyr. I'm pronouncing that for the actual, thing, religious thing. I'm just talking about the actual creature, the mythical creature. I always thought it was like Saturn. I don't know. You can choose one of 6 epic paths, which provide powerful motivations for your hero, making you a central part of the story. The Player's Guide will carry an MSRP of $12.99. Hopefully, this is not the 28-page Player's Guide that has been free to download for a few months. I'm sure it's fine if it's 28 pages plus more for $13. I don't know. Kind of get the feeling it's going to be the 28-page PDF in a softcover book for $12.99. But we also have the campaign book. At the dawn of time, a war between the gods and titans left the world of Thelia forever changed. Thousands of years later, the first mortals arrived, carried by ship and dragon. The Dragon Lords were the champions who overthrew the Titans 500 years ago and forged the Oath of Peace. But the power of the Oath has waned, and now the Titans seek revenge. You are one of the heroes called by prophecy to end the conflict once and for all. This hardcover will carry an MSRP of $54.99. Both these books will arrive at your friendly local game stores in February. So sweet, good deal. So Kabuki Kid says they're pronounced the same. Thank you. So it is a satyr. Yeah, as soon as it came out satyr, I was like, ooh, wait a second. I think that's a religious ceremony. I'm like, or not. I don't know. So very cool. Thanks. Yeah. Hey, come on. I mispronounce everything all the time. Lucky I can pronounce my name. So, last news piece. Monte Cook Games has released the latest source book for the Cypher System role-playing system. Say, how many times do we want to say system here? It's available in PDF, and I've got the dope on The Stars Are Fire. Not the stars are on fire, the stars are fire. Galaxy-spanning space opera, near-future hard sci-fi, and everything in between. A starship of unknown provenance, adrift and powerless, falls into a nearby orbit. An alien disease causes people to slowly lose interest in life, then take root like a plant. An envoy from another dimension brings warning of a pending catastrophe. But what if its solutions are the real threat? It's your campaign. Where will you take it? The Cypher system is the fast, flexible, elegant game system that powers any campaign you can imagine. The Stars Are Fire adds creatures, rules, character options, loads and loads of gear, and other tools optimized for your science fiction campaign, plus a complete, ready-to-use, hard science fiction setting. Aliens, robots, starships, creatures, and additional resources for campaigns ranging from gritty and realistic to swashbuckling and star hopping. Also includes a huge catalog of science fiction equipment, all graded according to the tech level and style of your game, from contemporary to fantastic. There's a space combat system for gripping ship-to-ship scenes that engage every player throughout the session. A complete sci-fi setting, the Revel. Excuse me. Boy, it's dry down here again tonight. Humanity has colonized the solar system, but a still mysterious event has caused the Earth to fall dark and quiet. There's a full-length adventure, salvage over Saturn, plus 2 sci-fi Cypher shorts. The Stars Are Fire is a setting and supplement for the Cypher system, so of course, it does require that rulebook to play. This 228-page PDF is available now at DriveThruRPG for $18.99. Cool beans. Very nice. Very cool. I like the Cypher system. I reviewed it, when it came out. That's been quite a while ago. And I thought it was a pretty good generic system. It wasn't super crunchy. It was kind of an anti-GURPS almost, I guess I'll say. I think when it comes to crunch, GURPS usually takes it, in my opinion. And again, I haven't seen every single system that's out there, obviously enough. So Glowing Turtle was talking about a friend has been DMing 5th edition for some of them. They've been having a blast. Very good. Very cool. Some people can't stand 5th edition. Some people love 5th edition. I'm kind of an old school Renaissance kind of person myself. Some people love Pathfinder. Some people hate Pathfinder. I have found more often than not, the enjoyment that you have in a role-playing game is based more on the person running the game than on any mechanics or system that's in front of you. You could be playing the crunchiest game in the world, and if you got a good game master, you're going to have a blast. You could have very rules light, very easy to get into systems, and have a bad game master, and you are not going to have fun. So, anyway, Dan from No Enemies here is rocking out. I will see you later, Dan. So Kevin Thorpe mentions Chaosium made some announcements at Dragon Meet. Hopefully I got some of the details. I have not. I don't believe so. I don't think I've gotten something. No, I have not. Not from Dragon Meet. So you got to keep in mind, too. A lot of times when people announce stuff or say, hey, we're working on things like that, I wait until there's an official press release, because I remember one time I spilled some beans on something that was announced at a convention that didn't come to fruition, and I got chewed out for it. I mean, not by the company, but by people who had said, oh yeah, these guys are doing this. And it was like, no, they suddenly changed their minds. And then, of course, didn't tell anybody, didn't make it, they didn't have a press release to tell people, hey, we're not doing this. So Glowing Turtle is asking, am I still planning on trying the Drifter? What is it? Ken Kennedy is a designer of that, if I remember correctly. He had reached out and said, hey, if you want to try it, let me know. And then I can't find how to get back to them. It's like, because it wasn't an email. It might have been through, maybe it wasn't even through Twitter. I think it might. Oh, so, okay. So Ken is Glowing Turtle. There we go. Hi, Ken. What you can do is shoot me an email, or actually what you can do, which is even easier, is you'll notice my email address is right there in the corner. It's down in the corner. It's also on Twitter. If you go to the Gaming Gang, at the Gaming Gang on Twitter, it's on the website. Yeah, if you'd like me to do a review of it in PDF, sure thing. More than happy to. I know it's at DriveThruRPG. If you want to just send a copy to this email address, a lot of companies do that for their PDFs. Of course, if you want video coverage, then it's got to be a physical book. But I wasn't sure if it's on, if it happens to be in print. I forget. I think it was I just saw it was a PDF. Anyway, cool deal. Kevin Thorpe says Rivers of London was announced. That I did know. That I actually did know. I did know that they're going to be doing Rivers of London, which, now to me, Rivers of London is a series of comics from Titan Comics over in the UK, but isn't Rivers of London like a series of novels? Is that what it is? So I'm not sure. That is something probably much more familiar to people across the pond. It's like Tank Girl, right? Tank Girl's still pretty damn popular in the UK and Australia. In the US, people are like, who's Tank Girl? Never heard of it. The comic's been around forever. It's like, come on. Almost like Judge Dredd, right? If you live in the UK, everybody knows Judge Dredd. Here, maybe not. All right, so that's it for tonight's show. Kind of long show. I know, I kind of blabbed on about Lil Bub for quite a bit. Anyway, do you want to mention, coming up this week on Wednesday, I will have my review of Crowbar. That's right. Rangers at Point to Hawk. Wednesday. It'll be after, I'll probably put it up after the show. So I will have that up. That was what I was going to finish up today and didn't. I also got some other reviews too. Did hear from Fred Manzo, who is pals with, I'm friends with Fred. Fred's really good friends with Herman Letman, who I'm pals with too. So if you caught last week, we were talking about Escape from Hades. It's a solitaire science fiction game from Hanspiel. So Fred reached out. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to see that. Might be a while to get a review copy, but one will be sent. So we will get to take a peek at that. So, bunch of stuff cooking. Got a lot of stuff cooking. A lot of role-playing game stuff on the horizon as well. So, other than that, I think we are pretty good. Oh, I know. I'll talk about something else tomorrow. Give you a hint. I don't know what people think being a role-playing game PDF reviewer means. Because just had somebody come on board, they did one review, sent me a second review, and then they asked me, hey, is it okay if I start asking companies for copies of stuff? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. So that was the end of that. I was like, absolutely not. You do not do. One review that was actually posted, the other one he had just sent. I hadn't even posted it yet. And then they're like, can I reach out to company? Do you mind if I contact blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, you're not contacting anybody. Not with the Gaming Gang behind you on it. No. All right, so that's it. If you like the video, which this has been a weird video tonight. Weird stream tonight. If you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe. And if you do, don't forget, ring that little bell. So it'll not only tell you when the stream goes live within about a minute or so, it will also inform you when I upload standalone videos. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, great holiday weekend. If you're outside the U.S., hope you had a great weekend. So I will be back tomorrow night. And of course, everyone who joined me in chat tonight, thank you very much. We had a couple of first-timers. We had Ken Kennedy from the Drifter fame popping in to say hello and hang out. So anyway, I always like people hanging out live in chat because then I'm not just talking to myself staring at a camera. But then again, if you watch after the fact, a soft spot in my heart for you too. I love all of you. So anyway, as I mentioned, I will be back tomorrow. So until then, happy trails. Whoa, hey. I didn't realize that you were still here. Well, if that's the case, then allow me to share the following information with you that I only have 20 seconds to do. So let's all take a deep breath. So if you would like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, please click right here. If you want to check out the latest episode of The Daily Dope, click right here. And if you'd like to check out a randomly selected standalone video, by all means, click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thanks for watching.